What's up guys, today I'll be doing a review of the Everlast Elite Pro Fight Gloves, so stay tuned.
Uber up the styles like miles and shit. Like 60s funky worms with waves and perms. Just sending junky rhythms.
Alright, time to give you guys a nice close-up look at these gloves and then put them on the scale to see how much they weigh. So these are the Everlast Elite Pro Fight gloves. Got mine in the 10-ounce XL. You can see here, just beautiful looking glove, all full leather, cowhide, or should I say goat hide, excuse me, goat hide construction. They have the ventilated holes. These gloves are made in Mexico. One of their very few gloves that Everlast makes in Mexico. Really nice long laces for protection. Really good looking design, just like the other Everlast, or should I say their other Elite models. Everlast logo on the back and on the wrist. Got the Made in Mexico logo there. And let's see how much these gloves weigh. I'll let it zero out real quick. There we go. Doesn't help that I have that glove on there. Let's make sure it zeroes out. There we go. So these are their 10 ounce, wow, 10 ounces exactly. So weight wise, obviously, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, the weight on these gloves has to be on point because they're Pro Fight gloves. So these are on point, man. These ones are 9.9. So I don't know what the margin for error as far as weight goes, but 0.1 ounces I don't think is too big of a deal. But there you have it, man. These gloves are on weight exactly, and they're awesome looking gloves. What's up guys, Carlo here. Today I'll be doing a review of the Everlast Elite Pro Fight gloves. As you can see, my surroundings has changed quite a bit. I usually do my reviews outside, but decided to start doing them inside just because here in Phoenix it's starting to hit the triple digit temperatures. It's about 110 degrees today, so it's hot as hell outside. And quite frankly, I was sweating and getting bugs and mosquitoes on my face while I was doing my reviews. Plus a few of you have mentioned that the sound quality and just the actual visual lighting of the gear reviews I was doing wasn't the best, so I decided to bring it back inside like I used to do back in the day. That way you guys can hear me better and also see the gear a little bit better, so you can see the color and the actual details of the gloves a little bit better. So without further ado, here are the gloves. These are the Everlast Elite Pro Fight gloves. As you can see, I got mine in the blue color scheme. They come in red and black as well. These are only lace up because they are pro fight gloves. They come in 8 and 10 ounces, as well as this 10-ounce XL version. They are true to weight, like I showed earlier in the video. These weigh spot on at 10 ounces. The XL model, I believe, just has a little bit larger of a hand compartment for those of you that maybe have longer fingers or just have larger hands. As you can see here, there's nothing really too much to the glove other than the fact that it is made in Mexico. So the quality is there. They use this goat hide leather, just like their MX line models. If you know Everlast, I believe that these and the MX training gloves as well as their Pride Fight gloves are the only models that are made in Mexico. The other elite gloves, the training gloves that are lace up as well as their Velcro and their lower end entry level models you can find at the department store, those are all made overseas in either China or Pakistan. So just make sure you guys get the right glove. If you guys are looking for the made in Mexico version, they only make the elites made in Mexico. So they do not make these anywhere else. You can see it has that tag right there on the back. Now, Everlast, design-wise, they advertise this as a one-piece anatomical glove, so it's supposed to be anatomically correct towards your hands. There is one big flaw that I found with this glove, just for me personally using this glove. Hopefully, maybe you guys may or may not have had that same issue that I have, but I definitely found a flaw with that, which I'll discuss here in a second. So let's go over the 5 things. First is going to be the glove design. As you can see here, they use a one-piece design with the foam that goes on the back of the wrist all the way into the top portion of the glove. It does not have a separate seam right here that separates the thumb from the glove, or should I say the hand compartment. You do have the Everlast logo right there, the Made in Mexico logo that's screen printed on the back of the wrist. You do have the Everlast logo that's screen printed on the back of the glove. Again, this is 100% goat skin leather, so the best way to describe this leather is really nice and thick. It has a really strong smell to it. If you've used any of Everlast MX line gloves, that is the same leather that they use in this glove as well. So it's very thick, has a really strong smell, and it reminds me of Cleto Reyes gloves in terms of the actual kind of feel of the leather. Minus being a little less slick. This is not as shiny as Reyes. It has a more textured look to it. So if you look there, you can see how much more textured the leather looks. And then on the palm side, you do have the Everlast slogan, which is greatness is within. You do have quite a few ventilation holes right there on the thumb, as well as the inside of the finger compartment and on the palm side. Again, these are fight gloves, so keeping the hands cool is really important, especially during a bout. And you can see they're double stitching throughout the wrist. The actual glove profile is compact, again, for being a fight glove. You're not going to have these huge gloves as far as size-wise, so these are definitely a very compact glove. It does use a multi-layer foam with horsehair, so it has a quilted horsehair inside her. That's the main component of this glove, with a layer of EVA foam on the exterior. So much like those rival pro fight, those HDEF rival pro fight gloves, this is very similar in the fact that it uses this EVA foam on the outer layer. That's pretty much where you're going to take the brunt of the impact when it lands on whatever surface you're hitting, and from there absorb. The horsehair obviously gives it that pliability to where it makes it more of a puncher style glove. For those of you that love feedback, that's what the horsehair is intended to do, where the EVA foam is really there to help absorb the impact. So they're basically trying to give you the best of both worlds with these gloves. It's not a full-on puncher's glove. It gives you a little bit of protection as well. One thing I also noticed with the foam is that it has a stepped feel to it, meaning that this EVA, when it drops down to the fingertip area right here, there's actually no other foam inside. So when you put your hands in here, you can actually just feel the sliver of EVA that goes on the top of your fingers right there, which really allows your hand to really dig into the hand compartment. Now, quality-wise, these gloves are fantastic quality. I didn't find any issues with the stitching. The leather is, beautiful leather, high quality, smells great, looks great. All the stitching looks really good. All the leather is tightly bonded to the finger compartment. The thumb looks really nice. You can see it does have a leather attached thumb that's cut and looped into the actual glove itself. You can see all the way around, it looks really good. The piping on the cuff looks really nice. The inside uses a polyester nylon liner, really lightweight, good way to wick away moisture on the inside. You can see the back of the wrist looks really good as well. It's pretty soft. You can see that the actual glove is really pliable. It's not a stiff glove at all. It's very broken in feeling, as a fight glove should feel. So overall, you can just see the quality is nice. It does have this one-piece design where you have this leather casing that is stitched above on top right here. So I'm assuming that this wrist part right here goes up, and then this case is dropped over and then stitched on to give it that look and design. Again, it does not have a separated stitched thumb right there, which I do like. It's one less seam that you have to worry about breaking. So quality is there. Now comfort, sliding in your hands in the glove. My initial thoughts when I first put these gloves on is, man, super comfortable, ultra broken in. You can see that I literally have to exert no effort into actually opening and closing my palm or my hand. I can make a fist super easy. The thumb placement is good. Now here's the catch with this thumb. As you can see in the photos, after using this with my hand wraps on, this seam right here really pinched down on my hand to the point where it actually left a red mark all the way around my thumb. And I feel that they could have improved that by either loosening up the stitching, giving it a little bit more room so that this ball of your thumb right here would give a little bit more breathing room and you wouldn't feel that discomfort, or move the thumb up a little bit to where it's a little bit more level so you don't feel like your hand is being pulled, or should I say your thumb isn't being forced downwards more into the upward natural position. So I feel the thumb feels good. The actual positioning of the thumb feels good. It's just this piece right here just strangled my thumb. And after 12 to 13 rounds on the heavy bag, man, I really felt that pinching down, almost to the point where I wanted to take the gloves off and stop using them. So I'm sure maybe you can break these in. It's just going to take a while. I use these several times at the gym, and they still pinch down on my thumb right there. So definitely keep that in mind if you're looking at getting these gloves. That this area for me, I have medium-sized hands. I'm not a big dude. I'm not super small either. I'm about average. That definitely caused me discomfort. Again, maybe it's just me. Maybe I have a weird thumb. I don't know. But I definitely felt some discomfort there. But the grip bar is in a perfect position. Again, I like how they use some felt. It almost feels like a felt pad on the fingertip, so that when you curl and make a fist, you can really see I can just really dig in. And again, this is a pro fight glove, so you should be able to do that with a pro fight glove. You can see how much I could just really roll and tuck my fist to make an excellent fist in there. You can see right here, the wrist is good. It has about 1/8 of an inch of padding all around the wrist. That right there is going to be really flexible. If you're in a pro fight with these, obviously you're going to lace them up, and then they're going to tape this up really well, and then whatever sanctioning body is going to inspect your gloves and then sign off on these. But you have about 1/8 of an inch and maybe 1/4 of an inch of padding on the back of the wrist. So, wrist support isn't a huge feature with fight gloves. It's more about flexibility and being able to really turn your punches over, as well as keeping the gloves lightweight. So you're not going to have a ton of padding because, again, the gloves, the majority of the padding is going to be around the knuckle and the back of the hand. And then the weight has to be on point in order for these gloves to be certified. So, the wrist support's decent right here. Again, once you tape everything off and you have your hand wraps on, the hand wraps is where you're going to get the most support with pro fight gloves, because you have your hands almost like in a cast before you even put them in these gloves. So, you shouldn't worry too much about the wrist support with these. Now, if you're using these primarily for training, then yes, you want to make sure you tape up your wrist, in my opinion, just because there's so much flexibility in these. These are so broken in that if you hit the bag, or if you're doing mitt work and you hit it the wrong angle, your hand definitely has a lot of movement. You can see the range of motion, and just how soft these gloves are. So just be careful if you are going to use these for training. If you're a hard puncher, one wrong direction with the punch and you can definitely sprain something in your wrist, like I've done myself. So but overall, the comfort of the gloves is there. It's just that thumb area right here is the big catch for me. And for me, that's kind of the selling point, is making sure that the hand compartment feels nice and comfortable. Now, performance-wise, these gloves perform pretty nicely. The EVA foam offers definitely a level of protection. However, if you're going to use these primarily for training, I would highly advise using these against a soft, heavy bag, not something that's so densely filled. I use these on a really dense twins bag, and you can already see that the foam itself started to kind of bunch up towards the back of the hand. So if you're going to use these primarily for bag and mitt work, make sure that you use these on some softer filled bags, because this foam isn't meant to use for consistent daily training. It is a fight glove, so keep that in mind, that the structure of the glove itself is not meant for, you know, putting in rounds and rounds and rounds on the heavy bag, especially ones that are really dense. The other thing you have to keep in mind if you do get these gloves is if you want extra knuckle protection, you definitely should put on some Skulltex or some Winning Ninja 2 or any kind of just gel knuckle pads that you can get. You can even get some cheap ones on Amazon, because these don't do enough to protect your hands if you're using these primarily for training. If you use these without any of those pads, you definitely will feel the shock of the impact come through and through your hands. So using these primarily for training, they're great for speed work because of how compact and flexible they are. For those of you that just love those broken in gloves, these are fantastic for that, minus the thumb. But keep in mind again that the protection is not quite there compared to a standard bag or a training glove. So you'll have to offset that by getting yourself some gel pads to give yourself a little bit of extra shock dispersion. So with the cost, these are $149, which is about right, all things considered. With the quality, you know, the beautiful leather that they use, the stitching is really on point. The design of the glove, I think it looks really fantastic. I love the look of the blue and the white, how they contrast with the Everlast logo. This is one of my more favorite design gloves that comes from Everlast. I like the way these look more than the Power Locks or even their MX gloves. I think these are their best looking gloves in my opinion, just based on the color and how they just design it. Looks really nice overall. But these are $149. I got mine with a 40% discount. I believe they did a red, white, and blue sale for Memorial Day. So just like some of the other big brands like Tidal and Ringside, Everlast does discounts. You just have to keep an eye out for the for the newsletters. They do them on their major holidays most of the time, and you can really score a good deal if you are patient and use a discount code. So I got these for here under $100, and for me that's a really great price, all things considered, with this glove. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box on where you can find these gloves. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.